Alrighty, problem number 9. Um, Finally, we're away from the ass and shell problems. This is just a straight up similarity problem because it says in the accompanying diagram, triangle A is similar. Okay, it's similar to triangle B. Great. So I can set up proportions of my corresponding sides to solve for the value of n. Now this side here, and I guess I'll do it in green, this side here, my hypotenuse, and that's super important. That is the hypotenuse, because it's opposite the right angle. It corresponds to the hypotenuse in triangle A, which is opposite this right angle. But there's no value there. You know, I could call it x, but if I go to set up a proportion, I'm going to have two variables. I'm going to have x and n, and I can't do that. But whenever you see that right angle in a triangle, you got to pay attention to it. It's powerful because there's this old Greek dude named Pythagoras. Right, Pythagoras, right, and his theorem, the Pythagorean. So Pythagorean theorem, okay? And it says, well, if you take your leg and you square it and you add it to your other leg squared, it's all going to equal your hypotenuse squared. So in this triangle, I've got my leg, and there's my hypotenuse. I could substitute in here and solve for it. But I really know this is a 3, 4, 5 triangle in disguise. Okay, and you know, that kind of spoils the problem. X is going to be 10, this side's going to be 10, and you could set up a proportion and solve for it, right? You could do 10 over n plus 2, the corresponding side, and that equals 6 over 3. So if you want to, you could solve that, but because these triangles are similar, and they tell me this is 3, I know that it's growing by 2. I have to cut this 6 in half to get that 3. I got to cut this 8 in half to get this side, 4. Oops, my bad. I've got to cut this 10 in half to get my hypotenuse, 5. This is just a 3, 4, 5 right triangle. So I know my hypotenuse is 5, and that's going to equal n plus 2. N is really just 3. Super easy if you see that this is a Pythagorean theorem problem and kind of a similarity at the end. Really difficult if you don't see that. Probably impossible.